Welcome back to Hidden Business Risk. Today, we're digging into a tiny screenshot that created a huge headache. Picture a Slack thread. A regional rep types, "Go ahead, take 30% off, we'll add the migration scope." A manager replies with a thumbs up, and a week later, the client is insisting that discounted quote and extra work are in the deal. That little chat becomes the spine of a multi-month, low-margin engagement. Today, why that happens, how it hits your revenue and legal exposure, and exactly what you should do this month to stop it from repeating. Let's get straight into the micro case.
Reading that thread, my first instinct is a legal eyebrow raise, and then a practical checklist. Internal messages don't automatically rewrite a signed contract, but they absolutely become evidence of a mutual understanding. If a client acts like something is covered and you accepted it publicly, courts and arbitrators will look at those messages as part of the whole picture.
And from ops, you get the ripple. Scope added without a ticket, no budget update, nobody on the scheduling board. Teams absorb the work, margins bleed, and months later you realize you've been delivering an upgrade for free. That's invisible technical debt plus revenue leak, and it accumulates quietly.
Quick setup. Informal approvals live in chat. DMs, comments, they're fast, helpful, and because they're fast, they bypass budget owners and contract gates. What do listeners need to see first? 3 things: the decision, who made it, and what downstream expectations it created. If you can't map those 3, you've got a blind spot.
Let me add language to that. When we talk about a decision, we mean any expression of assent, a sure, a go-ahead, a reaction emoji when someone posts a price. Those act like contractual breadcrumbs because they show assent and intent. The safer practice is to treat them as prompts to confirm. Send a short follow-up summarizing the change and asking for explicit confirmation that the change will be billed or included.
Revenue lens. Let me walk through the math so leaders can see the real cost. Imagine a mid-sized service firm. Average project value $50,000. Gross margin target 40%. A rep approves a 30% discount in thread without formal sign-off. That drops margin on that deal from 40% to roughly 28%. Multiply that by 5 similar deals a year, and you're looking at 6 figures of lost gross profit. And that's before you account for rework. When scope creeps, your team spends unplanned hours that are rarely billed correctly.
To add to David's numbers, rework cost is sneaky. If your blended labor cost is $80 an hour and a scope add-on adds 40 hours of engineer time, that's $3,200 of cost that probably wasn't in the price. Now scale that across accounts where informal approvals are common. Suddenly your utilization looks worse and your margins disappear even when top line looks okay.
From a legal perspective, evidence wins cases. If a client says, "You agreed to this in Slack," and you have a record showing a rep said, "Go ahead," and sent a change of scope, that helps the client's position. The conservative mitigation I recommend: whenever an internal channel produces a decision, follow up with a short confirmation email or CRM note that frames the change, quoting the key message, and asking for confirmation or correction. Keep the language conservative. To confirm, we're proposing X for Y additional fee. Please reply to confirm or correct. That single step dramatically lowers ambiguity.
That confirmation step is gold. From finance and ops, you get a chance to capture the revenue change, route it through approval, and update forecasting. Heuristics to find worst offenders: high-volume reps, large accounts with many stakeholders, and channels where approvals are habitual, like regional channels or client-specific threads.
Let me give 3 lightweight controls teams can implement today without extra tooling. First, a 1-line approval gate in your CRM. If a chat indicates a price change, the rep must open an approval required flag. Second, a message capture template. Copy the relevant message into a quick CRM note that includes a conservative summary and a requester field. Third, an audit log habit. Designate the rep as the owner of the change and require a time-stamped confirmation within 48 hours. None of these need a new platform. They're just discipline steps.
Time for triage. We prioritize fixes by likelihood times dollar exposure times cultural friction. Quick wins are low friction, high exposure items. For instance, the confirmation email we just discussed. Structural changes, like revamping sales compensation or adding a mandatory workflow in your ticketing system, have higher friction and should be piloted. Jessica, how would you advise choosing what to pilot first?
Pilot where you can measure impact quickly. Pick a top rep or a single geographic region for a month. Implement the confirmation step and the CRM flag I mentioned. Track 2 KPIs: number of informal approvals captured post-pilot and the delta in billed versus delivered scope. If you see a measurable reduction in unbilled work or an increase in documented approvals, you have a business case to scale. Also, give managers scripts to keep momentum. They're essential to avoid perceived slowdowns.
Manager scripts, yes. One that works for us is, "Thanks for the call out. We can include that." I'll log this in our system and follow up with a one-line confirmation for billing and schedule. Any change there would need written confirmation. Short, polite, and it preserves speed while creating evidence.
All right, let's walk a 30-day approval remediation sprint, week by week. Week 1, inventory. Pull the last 90 days of customer threads, flag deals, and closed tickets. Look for language like go ahead, cover it, reaction emojis on price posts. That gives you a baseline.
Week 2, pilot the confirmation step with one rep or team. Use the conservative phrasing I gave. Simultaneously, create a short manager checklist. Did you confirm? Is there CRM evidence? Can this be reconciled with the contract? Keep it simple. Checkboxes work best.
Week 3. Backfill evidence for open accounts flagged in your inventory. Reach out with neutral language. We recommend quick confirmation. Our records show X was agreed in chat on date. Please confirm if that's correct so we can update billing and schedule. Avoid asking them to rewrite history. Ask them to confirm intent. At the same time, enable the CRM flag and train the rep to use the message capture template.
Week 4, evaluate results, scale what worked, and decide on longer-term changes. If you've recovered revenue or reduced unbilled work, roll the confirmation process into standard operating procedures. If the pilot shows significant cultural friction, tweak the language and the tooling to remove blockers. This is an iterative process, not a punishment.
2 rapid scenarios to close. Scenario 1, discount approved in a DM. Next move, copy the DM into CRM, send a one-line confirmation to the client and internal manager within 24 hours. Scenario 2, contractor hire greenlit in a channel. Next move, pause onboarding until you get written approval with budget line and PO number. Scenario 3, scope change confirmed in a comment. Next move, create a change order in your project system and route it for approval before scheduling work. These are fast, safe, practical steps.
One final practical tip. Make it easy to do the right thing. Add a lightweight confirm and capture button in your sales toolkit or a shared template in the team channel. The less mental overhead, the more people will actually use it.
To wrap up, informal approvals are not inherently evil. They're necessary for speed. But without simple confirmation and a tiny bit of discipline, they become de facto contracts that cost margin and create legal exposure. We've put together a one-page approval audit kit, a discovery checklist, conservative confirmation language, and a message capture template, plus a 30-day remediation sprint you can follow. Get both resources and submit anonymized chat excerpts for future panel review at hiddenbusinessrisk.com/approval kit.
Quick reminder, never delete chat history. If you're worried about ambiguity, use clarification language. Document intent rather than erase records. And remember, this is not legal advice for your specific situation, but practical steps to reduce ambiguity and exposure.
And if you try one thing this week, make it the one-line confirmation. It takes about a minute and it saves hours later. That 1 minute is your best ROI on process change.